So today I'm gonna show you in this video how you can create a color palette and then your styles within Figma without needing to without the need to use like another tool, so you can do it within Figma. And yeah, I'm gonna show you how I usually do that. So I just got a mood board that I saw here on Pinterest. Is like a mood board that is ready. So I just want to simulate. Let's suppose that you have this mood board here, and let's say that you liked. Oh, by the way, I just added the keyboard here. I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but just so if you want to see sometimes like which keystroke it's happening, like you can see it here. So I didn't find like any tool yet to show like the keystrokes like as a subtitle, so I'm still using what I can. Yeah, so let's go. I'm gonna be creating a rectangle. This is my flow. It's just to show you how you can do that. And also I'm gonna show how you can, based on the color that you pick here, how you can create shades of that color, like lighter and darker. So yeah, I'm gonna cover all of that. So let's say I have this mood board here and I want to play with these colors. So let's say that usually what I do is I create in the video that I was redesigning the ChatGPT login page, I talked about that. I usually create a frame and then I go with the eye. Can you see here? And just pick color. So let's say I did, okay, I like this color. I want this to be my primary color. So I'm gonna just come here and pick this. Okay. And I'm gonna duplicate that by, you can see here, I'm pressing Option on my keyboard. And then I'm dragging this here. So I just did duplicate this because I want to pick my secondary color. So let's say my secondary color is gonna be this one, let's say. And okay, so let's say I'm gonna press Option again, that I want to pick my, I don't know, an accent color. So I'm gonna come here and yeah, I'm gonna pick this yellow. So it's pretty much similar to this one, but I want to show you how I usually do on also creating that as a styles and how I create the shades. Because even though we have it here, how can we create the shades? For example, when I'm creating like the buttons, I need to have the color for, okay, what is happening with the color when I hover over the button? What happens with the color when I press the button? I need to give the user some visual feedback, some visual indication that something is happening when they hover or when they press. So that's when we need to play with the shades. So yeah, that's exactly what you're gonna be doing here, differently from like, you could just say like here, like, okay, I have a color palette. But here I'm gonna be also creating the shades. So I'm gonna be duplicating that again. So let's call this my default color, and my default color. So you can also put it here, like just write down primary, just to help you, and primary and primary. Primary, no, sorry. This is my secondary color, and this is my accent color. So, okay, so this is my, I can put it here like default, just to indicate that this is the, I'm gonna just move it around here. Can you see I just select it here and just move it? It's really simple. It's a rectangle that I'm putting color on it and just labeling them with text. So let's say I want to create a darker shade of this one to simulate, like to have a darker shade, because I can use it in other elements, but so that I have a darker shade that I can also apply for my button when I hover, in my primary button when I hover over that. So how can I create a darker shade of this one? I could just come here and just play with that, like come here and etc. But I want to share with you, I just did Ctrl Z. I want to share you a tip of what I usually do. What I usually do is I add a fill. Can you see it here? Let me try to highlight when I'm doing something. So I'm gonna come here. Can you see? Yes. So I'm gonna click here. And here it's gonna be creating this black, it's adding another, another layer of color layer above my layer, and it applies a default opacity of 20%. So I can go with that and maybe, okay, I want to have like, let's say I want to have this 25% darker. This is my other color. Or let's say, okay, maybe I can have it 50% and this is it. Here you can play with the shades by changing the opacity. So for example, if you want to have an even darker, you could have like I don't know, you could have 80%. It's already like almost black, because it's almost, if you put of course 100%, it's 100% dark black. But if you put 80%, it has 20% of this color and 80% of black. Here I could just change it. Okay, I'm gonna be adding 40, and here maybe I can put 60. That's it. You already created like the default, a darker shade. Can put it here darker, and here like the darkest shade. And you can play with that like as much as you like. I could put here 40 and here 20. It would be even more subtle. So I can also do that. I'm gonna leave this so this has 0 black color above it. This has 20% of black above it, and this has 40% above it. So that's it. What if I want to create my secondary color? I'm just gonna be coming here. Oops, just gonna option here. Just come here on add fill. That's it. Remember, we added here 20, so it's already created. And I can just duplicate it here, and here I can put 40. That's it. I have like my darker secondary color, my darkest secondary color. The accent, the same. I can just come here, add fill. 20% is by default. And then I can come here and put 40%. Okay, so what if I need some lighter shades of all of these colors? We can do the same, but now we are gonna be changing it. When we add the fill, we are gonna be changing on having this 000 to FFF. You can drag it here to white as well, or you can just let me see. Here is here is 0000. You can put 0FFF. Is the white one, or you can just drag it here. And can you see? This is a lighter shade of this for the primary. And if I want to have the lightest one from my color palette, I can come here and put this. Okay, what if I want to even create another one that maybe I can use for background, like a super light shade of the primary color if I want to use on the background, like here. I can duplicate as well and maybe put like 60 or 80. Can you see? You created a super light color that you can use for backgrounds or for anything. So I'm gonna put here lighter, so that means it's lighter than the default color, and here like I can put lightest. Or I can just, also there is no rule. If I want this to be my lightest, it can be. I don't need to use the same 20 and 40. Maybe here I can have like, let me do it again. Maybe here I can have it like 80% here, and here maybe I can have it 50%. I don't, of course it would be good because then it would be gradually changing accordingly, like it would be according to, okay, I'm using this percentage for darkest, I'm using the same percentage for lighter, but it's not a rule. You can we can create another lightest here. So that's it. I'm gonna leave as it is. Maybe I'm gonna go back to 20, and this I'm gonna go back to 40 because I want to keep this consistency. So for the secondary, I'm gonna be the same, adding this white 20, super subtle, and here I'm gonna be adding, changing from 20 to 40. From the accent color, the same. Here, here. This is not changing much because yellow color is already like a light color. So, but that's it. Can you see? You just created your color palette, and then I can move it here. Let me just change this to black. And this is already your color palette. So you can, I'm just putting this just to organize it. I'm gonna put this inside a frame just to have it here. And I'm gonna put the name of this frame, color palette. So, okay, awesome. What happens now? I want to create I want to add this as my, just organizing it here. I want to, okay, awesome, I have a color palette. What do I need to do now to create the styles for that? I want to put those as my local styles, because if I have them as local styles, it's easier to have them and reuse them for, yeah, when building my components, when building everything, my UI kit and so on. So we can just come here, this default one. I'm gonna be coming here, apply styles and variables. I'm gonna come here on custom, and I'm gonna click on plus, new style. This is gonna be a new style, and I'm gonna be, this is something that I did teach you on the previous video, that is like how to organize the, for example, now we have primary color, and inside primary color we have 5 shades. So how can we organize, for example, primary color is a folder, and then we have the 5 shades inside the primary color, the 5 shades, yes. So this is gonna be primary slash, because everything that is before the slash is the name of the folder. So primary slash, and this is my default color. So this is my default. It's created. Can you see? Here now on the color, when I click outside and I'm not clicking on anything, I can see here on my color styles that I have a folder called primary, and inside I have the default. Okay, awesome. Now I want to create I'm gonna be creating this, because then I'm gonna show you something that you cannot do for the shade. For the shades, you cannot do the same process we are doing here, and I'm gonna tell you why later. So now I'm gonna do the same that I did here for the primary, for the secondary. I'm gonna come here, new style. Let me just put it here. Secondary, because it's the name of the folder, default. Create style. Now I have one folder primary and another one secondary. And then the same for the accent. Accent, default. Okay, so awesome. Awesome, I have here like the folders for primary, secondary, and accent. How can I create the shades? The lightest, the lighter, lightest, dark and darkest. I cannot come here and create from this. Why? Because when I create that, for example, when we send that to a developer, they will be seeing, let me show you, okay, I cannot show you now because I'm in another account, but when we send that to a developer, they're gonna be seeing two codes, and for them it's important to know one code, like what is the color code. And because we did this trick, this is the color of the default color, and then we did apply an opacity color above it. So for that, when we create our shades from the default colors, we are going to be coming here, create style color, and then you're going to be pressing, when we click on that Y, oops, sorry, no, going to be coming here in properties, clicking on this, and then picking the color. Okay, so let's do it again. Come here. You can do the same for creating the defaults colors as well. So that's okay. So come on local styles plus color. Sorry, my computer is applying this. I didn't do anything. Anyway, we're gonna come here in properties. Then you're gonna be clicking here on this icon to pick a color. I'm gonna pick the lightest, and then this is the code of the color, because then this is the code of the color with that trick that we did already. So this is the right code. So now we're gonna be creating style. Okay, it came with this name because I didn't edit. What I'm gonna do now, I can come here, edit style, and just first I'm gonna drag it inside the folder. This is related to primary, yes? So I'm gonna put it inside the primary folder. Okay, but this is called lightest. So I can come here and just rename it to lightest. Okay, so what about the lighter color? Here. Let me just... Here, it's opening here with the keyboard, so I'm gonna move it here on top. I'm gonna click here, lighter, create. I can drag it here as well, but I'm gonna drag it here between the default and lightest, so it follows the same thing that we did there, like from the lightest to the darkest. So I'm gonna drag here, come here, and just rename it to lighter. Okay, what about the darker? I can come here, color, here. Okay, here I can also put the name as well, so I don't need to rename it again. So here I can put it darker, it's already here, and then I can put it, just drag it here. Darkest, okay, I'm gonna come here. Just be sure that when you create that, you're not selecting anything, okay? So here, I'm gonna come here, darkest. What if I want, instead of being like dragging inside the folder, what if I want you already create inside the folder? You can do the thing that I did teach you on the previous video, that is like, okay, primary, name of the folder, / darkest. Then it's already inside here. Can you see how nice it looks? So yes. So let's create the secondary ones now. I'm gonna come here. You're gonna be doing this a lot of times now, so it's gonna become automatically for you later, which is good. When we do something like a lot of times, when we do like repetitive tasks, it then becomes automatic for us. So that's a good exercise if you can do it now as well. So I'm gonna click here, and yes, and I'm gonna already create inside the folders. Okay, so secondary / lightest. But okay, but it puts it after the color that I have created. So here I will have to move it up because I want to have it organized from lightest to darkest. So it's just drag and drop. So click outside, new color. This is the lighter, and I'm gonna put secondary, lighter. And then I'm gonna just drag it here between lightest and default. Here I'm gonna create now my darker, secondary darker. Now it's okay because it's after the default color, so it's okay. So now I want to create my darkest. Here, secondary and darkest. Awesome. We just need to create now the shades of the accent color. So color, come here. Oops. The lightest. So again, accent is /lightest. Just put it before default because we want it to have organized. I'm gonna repeat a lot of yes, just to make it okay. It's easier if you can organize like this because when we I'm gonna show later. So another style. Let's come here. This is the lighter. So accent, lighter, and just drag and drop here. Now let's come here and just this is the darker, accent darker, and the darkest. So accent darkest. I did a little bit fast now at the end. It's because hopefully you already got it, because it's the same. We did the same thing for all the colors. So yeah, so that's it. We have our primary, secondary, and accent colors and all the shades. Okay, so now when you create, let's say you are creating like an element and you want to apply that, you can just come here on apply styles and variables, and can you see it's it's already organized between like the categories. And I can also do this. If I click here to show, I can have it show as a grid or show as a list. As a grid, can you see it's even easier for you to visualize the colors and etc. And then I can apply this, I can apply that, I can apply this, and then let's say this is my default color for my button, but when I hover over the button, when the user hover over the button, I want to have this darker, but when the user press the button, I want to have the darkest. So can you see? You already have like the colors, and they are, yeah. That's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you still have questions with this. Please, let's try to do this exercise because I think it's really helpful. This is an exercise that you are going to be repeating the same thing a lot, so it is going to help you to record that, and every time you need to create a color palette from scratch, you already know how to apply those tips and tricks and make your work like easier and faster. And yes, so thank you again for watching so far, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.